The average viewership for the 2024 WNBA season was the highest in 24 years, with 19 of her games drawing more than 1 million television viewers. Rookie of the Year Caitlin Clark was the driving force behind this unprecedented WNBA season. The Indiana Fever were by far the most watched team in the league, with an average viewership of 1.19 million during the regular season and an average of just 394,000 for other games. She concluded a 4-year college career with the Hawkeyes, winning 3 consecutive Big Ten Player of the Year awards and becoming the NBA's all-time leading scorer. In all, 22 WNBA games clocked north of 1 million, surpassing the record of 15 games set in 1998, according to the Sports Business Journal. Before Caitlin was chosen as the top pick in the 2024 draft, she was already well-liked. The WNBA All-Star Game and the WNBA Draft also set records in 2024, and ESPN had its best season ever with a 170% increase from 2023. Records were set on ESPN, ABC, NBA TV, ESPN2, and ESPN, and in fact, ESPN recorded its 7th highest WNBA viewing figures ever this season, including a game between Clark's Fever and Angel Reese's Chicago Sky in June, which attracted over 2.3 million. 45% of the Ion women made up the majority of the WNBA audience, and their average attendance at Friday night games increased by 133% from 2023. The gap between Clark and the rest of the league was even more noticeable in the first round of the playoffs, with the top 12 regular season games involving the Fever despite playing against a full NFL schedule. Indiana's last game drew 1.84 million viewers. The other 3 games on Sunday drew fewer than 500,000. It is impossible to overestimate Clark's influence on women's basketball's popularity. According to The Guardian, her Iowa team advanced to the NCAA championship final earlier this year, and for the first time ever, the women's game drew a larger audience than the men's. This was a 289% increase from the 2022 final, in which Clark was not present. When Clark's Iowa women's basketball team advanced to the 2024 March Madness final, they had the 3 largest viewers. Clark stated,
"You see it across the board, whether it's softball, whether it's gymnastics, volleyball, like people want to watch. It's just, when they're given the opportunity, it's, the research and the facts show that people love it."
One former user who is eager to see coverage of other players stated that after shining in college, Clark has dealt with the pressure and expectations to deliver a fantastic rookie season in the WNBA. Now, everyone is saying they can't wait for Clark to be eliminated so other players can shine and enjoy the WNBA as it has been for the past 20 and 27 years without Caitlin. Since Clark is the same player whose presence accounted for 17 of the top 20 highest attended WNBA games this season, TV ratings were also dominated by Indiana Fever games. Now that Clark is officially heading home for the fall, these upcoming playoff games will be a great test to see just how far the league has really come. With Clark out of the playoffs, the product will have to sell itself and all of the players it has fought so hard to value, even at the expense of sliding Clark and ignoring its fanbase, while the W can pull off many of the current veteran during Sunday night's episode of CBS 60 Minutes. Journalist John Worry discussed the WNBA's rise and spoke with Rookie of the Year Aaliyah, her teammate Aaliyah, Boston, Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Clare, and WNBA Commissioner Kathy Englebert for the piece in which he referred to Clark as the league's main attraction, but not the only one. Stars, coaches, and even high-ranking officials have reaffirmed their respect for Clark, but they also stated that the league is more than just one player.
The real breakthrough star of this WNBA season is the W itself. Building off a college season in which, unimaginable just a few years ago, the women's championship game outdrew the men's, W games can draw more eyeballs than NBA games do. League-wide attendance is up 48%.
Although Clark didn't win MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same season as the Los Angeles Sparks' Candace Parker, she set the bar high and arguably had the best rookie season the WNBA has ever seen. She was the first rookie to record a triple-double when she played against the New York Liberty in July, and she was the first player in WNBA history to do so against a team that was first in the standings. She also set a record for assists in a single game when she scored 19 against the Dallas Wings, and at the end of the season, Clark set the rookie record for the most three-pointers made in a single season with 122, which was the second most in a single season. Finally, Clark became the first player in WNBA history to have multiple career games with at least 25 points. Not to mention that she was the unanimous AP. Her 10 assists and 5 three-pointers are just the beginning. NFL Hall of Famer and WNBA Rookie of the Year become legendary sports media personality Shannon Sharpe has made his admiration and respect for Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark very evident this season. He seemed to take offense at any disrespect directed at Clark, as evidenced by his criticism of certain ESPN analysts for their cold Clark takes and his question earlier this month about whether the NBA's frequent flagrant fouls on Clark were actually a coincidence. Last week, during an episode of ESPN First Take, Sharpe launched into a furious tirade as part of his ongoing defense of Clark.
But we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings. We saw the merchandise sales. We saw the attendance. But y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this. And instead of giving her credit, y'all tried to make it about, oh, y'all poo-pooing the old guard. Y'all never talked about the old guard like this. Nah, I ain't gonna let it slide. Caitlin Clark, unanimous Rookie of the Year. But what's even more impressive, she's first team WNBA.
These playoffs demonstrate that Clark and the Fever were must-watch TV in terms of ratings. And while the manner the corn-fed Iowa girl, as Shannon Sharpe characterizes her, has enthralled the basketball world is unparalleled, it doesn't make her the best to ever accomplish it in a single season. Fox Sports, according to Sports Media Watch, an average of 1.84 million people tuned in to watch Clark's postseason debut, despite the fact that it was an NFL Sunday and it turned out to be a blowout in the second half, as one would expect. It was about half of what Clark and the Fever drew in the same window against Connecticut the previous week once, as Michael Mulvihill highlighted this month when he wrote on X that Caitlin Clark games drew in 1.78 million, while all other games drew in 394,000, a 199% difference. 84 million people in the extended culture Caitlin Clark's wore. There's been a debate between those who would minimize the impact of the Fever rookie and those who contend that the WNBA would not exist without her. It appears from the data that Clark is by far the largest contributor to WNBA viewership, drawing far larger audiences than any other team or player, but it is also likely that those factors are not unrelated. Although pro and anti-Clark figures have suggested that her fan base will completely stop watching WNBA games once the Fever is over, it appears likely that at least some of the viewers who started watching this season will stick with it until the very end. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our channel.